You got SMU over there or something?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Should we get the first question from over there?
Yeah. All right. So how are you, pardon me, so how are you better preparing for today's game versus the Kings compared to last week's game against the Kings?
Wouldn't be difficult. Let's see. We are going to make a few adjustments. We watched a little bit of film yesterday on what were the big problems, which was turnovers and their transition and their threes. And so we got to do a better job of that. And you know, a lot of this game in the NBA comes down to execution and, you know, where you are in the possession game with turnovers and rebounding. So our rebounding wasn't good enough either. So we got to pick it up in all those areas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And going on to that real quick, Willie Cauley-Stein had a career high last week in rebounds against Joel Soap. Like you said, you got to really play aggressive under the boards. What's your plan tonight going into that?
Block him out. You know, and it's hard. They have a very good rebounding team. You know, they play traditional bigs that also can shoot the ball. Bielitsa shoots it really well. And Bagley is shooting it 53% over the last 5 games. He's, you know, 5 out of 7 or something like that, or whatever 53% is. But, you know, we've just and look, their team is good. They've played well all year. They're around 500. You know, they're still playing for, you know, to try to move up and all those kinds of things. So, you know, they've been going hard. And you know, it's just a situation where we've got to be better. We aren't coming off a back-to-back this time, and my hope is that that should be a positive for us. But you know, as was evidenced in Golden State, you got to step out there and play the games.
Luka was listed as questionable. Determination you made about him?
I didn't know he's questionable, so I'm expecting him to play. Yeah. He's been a little banged up, but he practiced yesterday, and so, yeah, expect him to play. Okay.
Rick, when Brokaw gets on the floor, he obviously is a threat to make shots and has done so in the last couple of games. What would be the things that you would want to see out of him for the remainder of the season that would be the kind of things that might propel him towards more consistent minutes next year?
Well, he's earning consistent minutes. I mean, he'll be in the rotation tonight. You know, he's a nice player. You know, he's had opportunities during the year, but he's never had a stretch like this where, you know, we're basically saying, hey, you know, you're going to be in the rotation. You know, let's see what you can do. There's a lot of things to like about him. He has a great feel for the game. He defends better than he looks. He rebounds his position better than you would think, and his shooting is terrific. You know, and so you know, his run really in both of these last 2 games was very good, and you know, he's going to earn some more minutes tonight.
You said earlier that it was early in the season that it was really tough for him to crack in the wing rotation. Now that there's an opening a little bit with Tim Hardaway not being able to play for the rest of the season, do you think that kind of contributed to him getting these minutes, or is it just that he's really taking advantage of the minutes that he's getting, and now you want to reward that?
Well, it's both, but you know, with Hardaway out, you know, it opens up a big chunk. And you know, Finney-Smith is obviously still in the mix. He played 10 or 12 minutes in the Golden State game, which wasn't huge minutes, but he played very important minutes. You know, he went in there and guarded Cousins for a 4 or 5 minute stretch in the first half that was key because we were starting to accumulate fouls with Powell and Cleaver, and you know, we didn't have Mesri available. You know, so he went out there and battled and did a very respectable job there. But look, this is a great opportunity for Ryan. It's a great opportunity for Jackson, and Dorian is gonna see some minutes, you know, kind of where they show up. we'll go from there. But I like to see what guys can do in sort of realistic minutes. In other words, like some of these guys, if you looked at their situation and our situation, they would probably be short minute guys. How do they perform in 5-6 minute stretches? On an as needed basis. And then you want to give Jackson a shot to start. Ryan a shot to play whatever it is, 15, 16, 20, 24 minutes, whatever it is off the bench. And then to see Dodo, who's had a lot of starts in his first 3 years. Do the other thing, do the other fill-in thing, multiple positions. Having to be resourceful and play, guard bigger positions and so on and so forth, which he's shown that he can do pretty well. Really over all 3 years.
Last week you said there'd be more tests on Hardaway this week and determination made about his course of action. Has that occurred yet?
Getting close. Nothing to announce yet. But it's we're sometime soon. There should be an announcement. It's we haven't collected. I should say, our medical staff hasn't collected all the information yet. But we're closer to a determination than not at this point. So, next few days, I would think for sure.
Do you envision Ryan Brokoff having a kind of similar role to what Doug McDermott had last season? Offensively?
Potentially. It's been fun watching those guys play against each other this year. Brokoff played against him a pretty good chunk of minutes in the game at Indiana. The game here, I don't think he did. But there are similarities to those guys. And both of them have a real good feel for the game offensively. They can make plays, things like that. So I don't think that's a stretch at all.
Rick, 40 years ago today, Bird and Magic played in the NCAA finals in Salt Lake City. And what way did those two guys impact the NBA game?
I was sitting in my room at Worcester Academy in Massachusetts prep school watching the game on a black and white TV. And it was amazing watching those guys play because it was two college guys in what was becoming the modern TV era that were larger than life, And I remember the game started off with, Michigan State won the tip. Magic tossed it blindly behind his back. The guy dunked the ball, and Michigan State kind of got going from there, and it was a tough game for Indiana State. But that game was historic on a lot of levels. It brought the visibility of March Madness up a real notch on a national TV basis, and then Larry and Magic would go on to really resurrect the NBA in the ensuing 4 or 5 years.